Hi friends, welcome back. So, now that it's the new year, I thought start the year off with a painting. And I, in the last couple of months, have been trying to branch out in my fox paintings, and instead of painting them all from the side, which is my general preference, I feel like you can see a lot more of the cuteness of a fox from the side, but I wanted to be able to branch out and do more dynamic fox poses. And so I thought for this first video of the year, we would play with that. So I have a reference photo of a fox that I've been wanting to paint for a long time, and I'm going to do it on hard mode, and I'm going to paint it on camera. I'm not going to really go into detail on how I'm painting or what colors I'm using or anything like that. If you're interested in that information, leave me a comment and I'll get you the color list at the very least. But this is just going to be me playing with painting a fox and seeing if I can get it to come out looking like a fox, because head-on on animals that have a snout is a bit tricky. So we're going to see how we do, and let's chat about the year to come and the year that we just left behind, and you know, get ready to get into 2024, because that's still weird. So let's change the camera angle and we'll get started on this little fox painting. Thanks, guys. Hoo-wee, it's 2024 and that just feels absolutely crazy. I feel like I was relatively prepared to go into 2023, all things considered, and I am just not for 2024. And that does seem to be like the sentiment that I've seen from a lot of people online, is just nobody's really ready to go into this year. I haven't hardly seen anything about New Year's resolutions online. I don't know if maybe that's just like the algorithm is like, well, Rani doesn't like New Year's resolutions, so we just won't show her any of those or what. But I really haven't seen anything for that, and that's kind of weird, right? Like normally you get to the start of the year or the end of one year, start of the next, and everything's all about like new year, new me and all that. And this year it's like that's just not happening. It's weird. But I do, as per usual, I do have some goals for this year. I don't set resolutions. I feel like they're not really helpful in a lot of situations, but I do think it's good to have goals for seasons of life. So like when you're less than 20, it's like, well, my goal for this season of life is to get through school. That's my like big ultimate primary goal. Well, my goal right now is to actually get my website up and running. I know that was my goal for 2023, but there were some unforeseen things that happened. I had to get some repairs done on the roof of my house, and honestly, that's more important than starting a website. So that's what I did. I got my house fixed and everything is hunky-dory, but it was the money that I had earmarked for the website that ended up going to the house. And by now I have replenished that fund and I have enough money that I can start the website, but I am thinking that I'm gonna take my time and I'm gonna try to start it between Q2 and Q3 of this year, because I think that'll just give me time to get myself organized, get good photography done of the paintings that I want to launch with, and really have a more solid idea of what I'm going to have on the website, what I'm not going to have on the website, etc., etc. I am continuing the current YouTube plan of I will have a video every other week. I will let you guys know if there will be any changes to that schedule. If anything comes up and I'm going to take a week off or anything like that. You know how it is, unforeseen stuff, it happens. And I'm not going to let life get in the way, or rather, I'm not going to let YouTube get in the way of life. So if I have something that comes up, I will take a week off, but I will be sure to post an update or something to let you guys know what's going on, and I will more than likely only have that happen once or twice and only be a week off at most, because I do like to stick to my schedules and I do like to I like to keep things orderly. And as it is, I tend to record these kind of early. I did actually record this one in January, but only barely. It is the 1st as I record this. But I do tend to record videos a month or two in advance just to give myself time, because it is kind of difficult to have to record week by week and have to plan for, figuring out how you're going to fit recording a video into every single week or even every other week. It's just easier for me to sit down and record all of the videos for 1 or 2 months over the course of one weekend, and then I spend the next few weeks doing all of the editing. It's a little bit less stressful to do it that way. I like it that way, and that's just what I'm gonna do. I am obviously not going to stop painting. This channel is still going to be focused on painting, and I do want to branch out in some of the art that I do on here, and I do really, really, really do want to start doing more on social media in general, just to really share with you guys what I'm doing and what I'm working on so that you can see it, because I have a big backlog of art that I just have not had time to show on Instagram or anything. And then my phone camera is just really bad, and I don't want to have to upgrade that, so I'm going to figure out how to use my actual camera, my video recording camera, to start taking more Instagram photos, and I will try to keep you guys more posted on what I am working on and when you can expect to see things on my website. I do have one idea that I'm pretty set on doing for the website. That is, I'm going to get some pretty small canvases. I'm looking at either 2x2s or 4x4s. And I'm going to do one-of-a-kind pieces on these mini canvases that will only be on the website, and they'll only be on there for a limited time, and it will only be a one-off. There will not be prints available. It'll be only originals, and kind of a way for you guys to get like a little bit of my art if you want, without it breaking the budget, because I know buying art is expensive, and I'm not going to be dropping my prices to, well, okay, let me put it this way. A lot of new artists have this habit of thinking, well, I'm new and I'm not as experienced, so I should price my art really cheap. And to an extent, I agree, but while I am new and while I'm not going to be pricing my art super high, I also know that I put a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of energy, and a lot of art supplies, honestly, into a lot of this work. And I don't want my art to just be a break even if it sells. I want to be able to support myself at least partially off of my art. I don't want it to just be this hobby that sits there and doesn't actually do anything and can't possibly make me any money just because I don't want to price my art appropriately. So my art will have fine art prices because it is fine art. That is what I do. That is what I am striving to paint. But I will also have consistent releases of smaller pieces that will be more budget friendly, but will still be originals. So you can still start collecting originals and start collecting like really fun, unique pieces, but they would just be a little bit smaller. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with tiny pieces of art. I think sometimes the smaller pieces are even cuter than the bigger pieces. I know that's weird for me to say because I buy a lot of like big art canvases, but I think that's legitimately from my parents. My parents like really big art pieces. So that's just kind of what I grew up with, and when I moved out, I was like, I can buy my own big art pieces. And now that I've been in my house for a year and a half, I'm looking around and going, if you got more smaller pieces, you could really show off more artwork on these walls and it would look really cool. You could have some really fun collages all over the place. And I think that's the look that I'm going for with my house, and that's the look that I want to enable you guys to be able to do as well if you are interested in buying my art, which I know some of you are. I have gotten some emails and Instagram messages from a few of you about the potential of purchasing some of my art, which I really appreciate. You guys have been such an encouragement this year, even with the website being delayed. Everybody was so chill and so nice and so sweet, and I really appreciated that, because this year was not the easiest year ever. It wasn't the hardest year ever either. It was a year. It was a long year. But there were a lot of things that happened that I didn't anticipate, especially with wanting to launch the website, and you guys have all been absolutely amazing with everything. You've all been very encouraging as I have grown in my art skills and my art career, and I am really excited to get this website up and running and be able to share more of my artwork with you guys. And I think that is going to be my primary goal for 2024, is to actually start sharing more of my art and sharing more of the process and sharing more of me online, because I do think that I have still been kind of hiding a little bit of that online, and I think a lot of that is just me like not wanting to do Instagram, because that would involve me sharing more about me, and I don't want to. So I want to get better about that, because I actually do want to share about myself. I was an author before I was a painter, and I am still a storyteller at heart, and I am coming to recognize that my story is also worth telling. So this year, my focus is going to be in telling stories, and even if that story is mine and the focus of the story is me, because everyone's story is worth telling, even mine. And that honestly has taken a really long time for me to even be able to say, but there it is. My story is worth telling too. And so this year, that's going to be my goal.